How you guys doing? Good, good. Thanks for having me. I don't even know why they like me because I tend to talk really loud, so let me know if I'm yelling. I apologize. So, as Ted said, my name is Jessica Matthews. I'm the co-founder and CEO of Uncharted Play, and I don't know, some of you guys may have already heard of us. We're actually the creators of this thing called the socket, which is a soccer ball that generates power when you play with it. So to get started, let's see if this works. Point there. Start with the video.
An idea for clean energy that I think it's fair to say hardly anybody else on the planet had ever thought of. It's quite extraordinary, really. Kick a ball, turn on a light. It's an off-grid solution that gives us a way to bring power and improve quality of life, working capacity, learning capacity.
Awesome. So first, thank you. Thank you. So first little tidbit, if you can get Bill Clinton to be your spokesperson, do it. It never hurts, he's a little pushy about it, but I said, you really want to. No, honestly, he's been a huge supporter, and I'm very, very appreciative of the work that he's done to get us where we are. Before I start talking about really the specifics of what we do in Uncharted Play and the ball, I actually have a confession to make. I actually think that, for the most part, in general, people are good. I do. I really do. It could just be my naivete. I'm going to admit, I'm young. I probably, maybe in like 5 years, would be super bitter and totally disagree with this. But right now, that's what I think. And, I think it comes to this idea when you really ask yourself, how many people have you ever met that say, I am so against clean air? I don't want my air to be clean. Who says that? Or, I really, really hate the idea of an earth that I want to live on. That just sounds ridiculous. That's not what you hear out of people. For the most part, people, at least I believe, are good. And so the question is, what systems in this world are we currently failing to put out, to create, to have, that bring this goodness out of us? And so really, I think, what I spent my time, I studied psychology at a fancy little school in Boston, and most of my time I spent doing research on decision making. And what is it that drives people to do things that aren't so good for themselves, for their environment, for their family? And one of the biggest things really came down to uncertainty. Uncertainty about what's going to happen tomorrow, what's going to happen a month from now, about their families, about their livelihood. And when people are uncertain, they tend to do things that are a bit brash. They tend to do things just to kind of distract themselves from the realities of the world and get away. And assuming the person's not maladjusted, because there are some people who will just drink to be distracted, that's another story. Most people will play. Most people will try to find something that's enjoyable and exciting just to get away and have fun. And, I think the cool thing about play is that it can mean anything, really. It could be kids in a township in South Africa playing soccer with whatever they could find, whatever ratty ball they could get. Or these same kids, these aren't the same kids actually, this is in Kenya. But one kid doesn't even have a shoe. But he's cool, he's having a good time, he's playing football with his friend. But it doesn't even just have to be soccer. These guys are having a good time, bringing back the youth of their jumps, playing basketball, distracting maybe from a board meeting, whatever just happened that day. This guy's playing as well. I'm not actually sure what he's doing, but I'm pretty sure he's playing. He's having fun, I believe. You know, again, engaging in the world in a way that's enjoyable. And so I think ultimately, what play is hard to describe, but we know that, generally from research, that it brings out creativity. It inspires us. It gives us an opportunity to test out the world and grow our confidence. And I think probably most importantly, it makes us happy. When we play, we are happy. Raise your hand, actually I should take a poll. Raise your hand if when you play, you're not happy. Just, you know, because, you know, assumptions, you know, make an ass out of you and me, we know this. So generally, I think we can all agree play is a good thing. And so if we know it's something that people do to be happy, we know it's something that people do because they want to get away from this world, why is it that we're not doing more to optimize play, to amplify play, to take the things that we want to happen in this world and take all the smart, creative, innovative people and say, listen, can't we build this in play? Can't we do something so that when people play, they do what they want to do, they're getting something that they need out of it as well? That's actually what Uncharted Play does. Our mission, to foster well-being by inspiring people to lead playful lives. All that really means is that we go and we look at the different issues around the world and we recognize that in this ever more complex world, it's increasingly difficult to actually find the solutions. At least no one person or one company can probably do that. However, that journey need not be a constant reminder of what that individual lacks or what that community lacks. Rather, that journey can be a tool in which we embrace the good things that are going on in this world, the love and the happiness and the enjoyment around play, around the things that make people happy, as we bridge the gap between what's working and what's not working. And so the way that we did this, to start with the socket, was first, we chose an issue. Access to clean, renewable energy. I doubt I can tell many of you in this audience that most people in this world simply don't have access to clean power. I'm personally a dual citizen of Nigeria and the United States, and each time I go back to Nigeria, it's a constant reminder of just a world where, you know, it's not about how rich you are, it's not about your socioeconomic level, it's an infrastructural issue. We will simply lose power 7 times a day, period. And, you know, I remember one time when I was at my aunt's wedding in Lagos, and the power went out. And so they brought in a diesel generator right outside my other aunt's house and tried to keep going as they were. And I, being the complainer that I am, started complaining. So, you know, I can't breathe, what is this smoke, what are these fumes, oh my goodness, what's going on, you know, trying to make a big thing about it. And my cousin said, listen, you'll get used to it. They didn't say, oh, I know, it's so bad, or, oh, yeah, we're working on this or that, or hopefully this happens. They said, you'll get used to it. And so what got me angry wasn't just the fact that we didn't have the power. It was the fact that generally everyone around me was really complacent about it. They just decided that there was no other option, that this was something that I had to get used to. And mind you, they weren't coughing or wheezing, so I guess their lungs had gotten used to it. The problem with this, of course, is that while we may not always be able to immediately see the effects of these issues, they are there. Beyond being horrible for our environment, they're horrible, it's also horrible for us. Living with a kerosene lamp is like smoking 2 packs of cigarettes a day. And that's a quote directly from the WHO. And so, no judgment to those of you who smoke, but I think you weren't doing it from the age of 3, right? And so, when you think about the number of lives that are lost, simply because the best alternative when the sun goes down and you need to have power or light, what we take for granted, is this kerosene lamp or a diesel generator if you're lucky. And you realize that there's an issue. There's a true issue in access to power and what you can do with this power, but also mindset and the way people view what's possible. So, jumping back now to try to play the socket, our quote-unquote answer, at least to address this, to try to combine what makes sense was to create the socket. So we take this sport that people love around the world, the most popular sport around the world except for the US, which is fair. It's fine. I personally, a little secret, played almost every sport but soccer, actually. It's a long story why, but if you actually dribble this ball, you will laugh. I still have fun doing it, but you will laugh. But we took a sport that people play without a ball, often with a bundle of garbage bags, bottle caps, plastic bottles, whatever they can find. And we said, okay, this is beautiful. When you guys play, when you play and you're enjoying yourselves, it's a beautiful thing. This is something that is being done right in these resource poor communities where they don't have reliable access to power. So why don't we harness that passion, literally, harness that passion and give you power? The socket, this is me, please don't laugh. All right, simple. As you roll with it, as you roll the ball, a generator inside the ball is being charged. And so, after 30 minutes of play, you can, for example, get enough power to charge this light for over 3 hours. I got a few more other tricks and things to show you later too, don't worry. The exciting part, I think, for me, wasn't just, the fact that, again, we were giving kids a soccer ball, something that they love. I just came back from Jordan doing some work with the U.S. government in the refugee camps there, the Syrian refugee camps. And these are kids that have nothing to do and have so much energy, that a normal soccer ball lasts about 7 days because they beat the crap out of it, and I saw it with my own eyes. They almost killed me, to be honest, just in play. I'm getting older, I cannot keep up with them. It's what I'm learning the hard way. And the cool thing about this is that, one, beyond being water resistant, and we worked really hard to make it lightweight, it's only a few ounces heavier than a normal soccer ball, it doesn't deflate, and it doesn't need to be inflated. If I took this plug and just jabbed at it, it'd be fine. Because we had to develop a dual density biofoam that would allow us to have a ball that was fun to play with, that you could head, but that could last, so that you weren't just giving kids power for a week and taking it away. And so, not only, I should say, is it water resistant, is it lightweight, doesn't require inflation, it lasts a pretty long time too. Getting it to be durable, again, was something that's really important. And I think, again, when you're thinking about creating these products and amplifying existing behavior, it's really important to consider what the product is that you're putting into a community and what's going to happen when it's in there. So we want to make sure this is something that can last and last as it's continually being played with. And finally, it's cost effective. For a normal average family in Rwanda, they'll probably spend on kerosene oil over a year, 5 times what they'll spend on this ball. So again, I think sometimes when people think about technology, they imagine that it's not truly cost effective. But the reality is that when you are basing it off of something that's around us, kinetic energy is not something that's new. And when you're basing it on something that people already love to do, the actual economics make sense. Of course, it wasn't easy. And I think highlighting the process of actually taking an idea and making it a sustainable innovation is important, because if we want to be creative enough to create products that not only amplify existing play behavior, but do so in a sustainable fashion, it's going to take time. This is something that actually started as a college project in 2008, the fall of 2008. I was 19 years old, I should say, so I didn't know anything. I did not know at all what I was doing. As I told you also, I studied psychology and economics. So I had to very quickly, thank God for Google, teach myself how to be an engineer. And I say this because all of us in this room, I believe, I hope, are very much inspired by the idea of trying to make this world a better place. Whether it's just with ourselves, our communities, our families, or on a broader level. And often we think that it's very easy to become discouraged. Think that we don't have the tools, think that, oh, this could be great, and then step away from it. But as a girl who studied about Freud, not the Faraday principle, but was able to actually build this first prototype, reverse engineer similar products and understand circuitry, resistors, capacitors to develop this product, then bringing in engineers, I just want to say, as an aside, that it is possible. And that ultimately, the true key is the extent to which you understand people. The only way you can really inspire people to move forward and do something that is better is by understanding the way they currently live their lives. And you don't need a degree to do that. You just don't. The reality is that if you are alive, you probably have a good understanding of what it takes to make something that matters to people. So, throwing in a little bit about where we are and what we do. So we have our balls right now in different areas around the world, and we're doing really interesting pilot tests surrounding the actual issues that these people are facing in terms of having productive light, and understanding, again, how do we really make sure that we're amplifying existing behavior. And so, interesting anecdote, when we first started distributing, we started in Mexico, and we did actually a few pilot tests as well in Benin and Nigeria. And what we found was that these kids, while they love their balls, I have to give up the puns I make in my head. Anyway, while they love their socket balls, they tend to hold onto their balls as if they're... They tend to hold on to them as if they're just round lamps. They didn't want anyone else to steal their ball. They didn't want anyone to break it. And so we said, okay, immediately let's stop. What's wrong here? If we're in the business of amplifying existing play behavior, things that are already going on, we're currently creating a system where people aren't playing the way they used to play, which was coming together with your friends and just kicking around a soccer ball for fun as a distraction. And in all those pictures that I showed you, you didn't see any kid by himself kicking a ball against the wall. So going from there, we came back to the drawing board and we developed a portable lamp. This is a prototype of this portable lamp. I'll show you as well. This is just actually places where we've been: South Africa, Brazil, India, Mexico. You get the picture. The portable lamp. And the cool thing about this is now what we started piloting is actually distributing these balls at schools. And so the balls stay in the schools, and the kids come to school as they normally would, and each child who goes to the school gets a portable lamp. And so once they come to school, after school they play soccer as they normally would with their friends. And then after they're done playing, they each take their portable lamp, line up, plug in the portable lamp for about a minute. Once they're all done doing that, they can actually take the power home to use as a desk lamp or as a flashlight if it's dark as they're walking home. And the cool thing about this is two things. One, it makes the kids want to go to school, because now they say, well, I gotta go to school because whatever, they have to tell their parents, but the reality is that they're going to school because they want to play with the soccer balls. But their parents also want them to go to school instead of having them stay home to do chores, because they know that when they go to school, they're going to come back home and bring home light. And so again, what we've done was take a look at an existing behavior that we wanted to optimize. The act of going to school, going to a community center, and playing with your friends, and building upon it. But it's not just soccer, I should say. Actually, this is an image of just how one ball can actually then give power to several children and several families. But actually, it's not just soccer. We actually have a lot of protests. We're based in New York. If you're ever in New York, you should come and see us. We have a lot of fun. a lot of play. We're a play company. And some things that we're working on that we're really excited about are, one, an American football that generates power as you throw it. If everyone remembers the Super Bowl last year, you can imagine why that might be useful. But actually my favorite right now is the jump rope. And I like it because, one, I'm not that good at soccer, but two, because I already do this every morning just for frustration in my mind. And so I might as well get a cell phone charge out of it. And so the cool thing here, a little bit, is that with 20 minutes of jump roping, you can get over, gosh, I believe 30 hours of light. You can fully charge a simple Nokia cell phone. And so when you're looking at, again, all the different ways to play, not just football or soccer, not just American football, not just jump roping, but skateboarding, scooters, bicycles. We have looked at everything from basketball, cricket, it's all in the works, and again, all based on the fact that people around the world love to play, and they love to play in different ways, and we love to give them ways to play for good. That's it. That's it. It's what drives us and what makes sense. Of course, we don't ever want to forget about the developed world as well. And so what we're hoping to start doing is, again, looking at the way people play here. We know that people play soccer. We know that people play basketball and whatnot, all the sports. But we also know that the energy issue here is different. And so we're really looking at the needs around eco-camping versus using propane tanks, blackouts, natural disasters. Think about what just happened in Oklahoma. Think about Sandy and Katrina. Think about when children are put in a position where they actually believe that the world is crumbling. And instead of handing them a teddy bear, you give them a soccer ball that they can kick around during the day and use for light at night. And all of a sudden, you start to see that not only are we giving people an opportunity to generate their own green, renewable power, but we're opening up children's eyes to what's possible in terms of how they access power and what it means to actually be sustainable in their lives. Again, I truly do believe that people are good, but we have to make it easier for them to be good. And there's nothing easier than play, except for sleeping, I would say, personally. But there really is nothing easier. Looking even beyond, I should say, energy generation, and trying to really pull people into play. There's something also that I want to show you guys that we're working on in the Charted Play that's going to be coming out probably in about a year. Entirely different from energy generation, but again, all about seeing what can we do to take play and make it into something that's good. Just cue this next video.
3-6-4 to at the end. So Dickie hopefully.
The main takeaway here, if I get anything. Anyway, the main takeaway here, I think, that's critical is that social impact and social change doesn't need to be combative. It doesn't need to be something that you march in and you kick down a door and you say, you better change, or I don't know. Because truthfully, what can you want? What can you say? What is the consequence? I believe that, second confession, not only that are people good, but that companies have a responsibility to do better when it comes to making it easier for people to do good. That truly creative people, as I've said several times today, when they come together, it shouldn't be a difficult thing to say, we know what the outcome is, how can we design a product that people want to use, and that will generally have positive externalities for everyone around them. And this doesn't mean creating the perfect product that somehow is made with, I don't know, like out of thin air, no carbon, no this and that. I mean, it's very, very difficult to create something that will solve everything. No one's saying that. However, through play, through enjoyment, the door is already open for the opportunity to make a difference. By giving people something that they already want to do, they're that much more primed to not only take the general, tangible benefit that you're offering them, but they're actually in a position now to start thinking about what else they can do on a personal level. So for me, this was being lucky enough to stumble upon an idea while I was just a young girl in college and realize, after taking it for a pilot test in South Africa, that this was something that could change the way kids viewed their lives, change the way they viewed the status quo, change the way they viewed their ability to change their situation. And when I saw that, I just couldn't stop. It reminded me why I love to play sports, why I love to play, it reminded me of my heritage and what matters. I think it's something that's so simple, play, whether it's in the form of ball or a jump rope or a chess game, that it would be really sad if more of us didn't try to do it more often. Thank you.